there. I see some old friends in the audience. I have to do housekeeping first. Will's going to pass you a ticket and keep a tag because you know we have a drawing. Will will tear the ticket in half, give each person. So this is not only third Friday of the month, but this is the third Friday or performance before Capona Festival. Capona Festival was August 30th, August 31st, and September 1st on City Island this year. City Island becomes a World Fair ground and an exceptional destination as you cross the bridge in the sparkling waters and come to the City Island Festival, Capona 2014. Now, on Sunday and Monday in the Riverfront Pavilion, we are going to have a festival which is called Soul to Soul, S-O-U-L to S-O-L-E. We will be exploring the soulful dances of cultures from around the world who use percussive and rhythmic footwork, body padding, and polyrhythms in their work. So today's presentation gives you some sample, some taste, some feeling of what Soul to Soul will be like on August 31st and September 1st. Now, August 31st, you'll see exhibitions of dances that have come from all around the world and gathered on the river. On September 1st, you will be able to dance with us. You will be able to join our Zumba classes, our step classes, our swing and salsa workshops, and jitterbug on the river, and even learn a bit of breakdancing. So this is a Whitman sampler. I just dated myself. If you remember that candy box that opened that had all the little tastes in it. Today, these fine artists bring you a Whitman sampler taster of that wonderful, wonderful culture that we're going to present on the river on August 31st and September 1st. I think I close it.
I'm going to start this piece playing an instrument called a melodica. So it has this crazy looking tube on it. It's an air-powered keyboard, so I need to give it air for it to make sound, otherwise you hit the keys and nothing happens. You'll see it has a sound somewhat somewhere between a harmonica and an accordion. So enjoy. I'll be playing some Middle Eastern modes on this.
floor, those of you up in the offices, or those of you at home, if it really makes you feel like getting up and dance, you can do two things for me. First, you can join us in Reservoir Park every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for Zumba classes, for line and step classes, and you can do your own kind of shake and roll. Or you can come out on August 31st and see Laura dance in our Soul to Soul Festival along the river at Capona. You know that perhaps one of the oldest components of the Capona Festival is the Native American Festival. And again, I'm going to ask Will if he'll come forward and pass these flowers out to you. The Native American Festival anchors Capona's northern side of the island this year with a complete village installation. From living active teepees through weavers and carvers, fire rituals, water dances, a celebration at midnight, an opening libation, and an incredible Arizona hoop dancer who dances with 9 hoops at the same time. So be sure, all 3 days of Capona, August 30th, August 31st, and September 1st, be sure to come out and enjoy the Native American dancing. On the first day of the festival is the Festival of India. The Hindu community from throughout central Pennsylvania will bring us an incredible celebration, beginning with a parade around the island, pulling the sacred chariot, followed by demonstration of dance, exhibition of crafts, and a wonderful feast under our riverfront pavilion, which is free at 2 p.m. on Saturday, August 30th. So if you can't afford the ticket to India, you can afford to cross the bridge to the river. Let's continue this feast of rhythms from around the world.
And if I may say also, our drumming group, which is larger than this, will be performing at noon at Capona as part of that festival on Monday.
blessing the drums. Always blessing the drums. So, your question is, how do you get to Capona? Well, you know that Capona is on City Island in 2014 this year. Come to Front Street and there you will find a boardwalk, a promenade with great festival food. You can enter the spirit of the festival by grabbing a bite to eat and then walking across the Walnut Street Bridge. All parking is free at Capona on the island this year, and we have 1,000 parking spaces on this side of the river for the first 1,000 people who come to park. You can take the CAT bus on Saturday to the Transit Center. There are 21 different scheduled lines that will bring you to 2nd and Market Street. There you will find Harrisburg taxi bikes that for a small donation, whenever your heart desires, will take you across from 2nd to the bridge. You'll find the taxis again the taxi bikes on Front Street. But speaking of bikes, I'm suggesting you take your bike to Capona this year. Recycle Bicycle will be on the island to both check your bicycle and check your up on your bicycle, on your brakes, on your wheels, on your air, on your tires. You can also hook that bicycle right to the front of the CAT bus, by the way. If you didn't know that, you can grab your CAT bus in all 4 counties and come into 2nd and Market Street. Just hook your bike to the front, hop off. We'll check it for you. We'll check the air. So make that effort. It's 2.5 minutes or light years away, depending upon your spirit. But cross the bridge and come to Capona this year. Remember that these folks will be drumming on our Soul to Soul stage on Monday, opening that last day of the festival and placing the rhythms in the sacred river of the Susquehanna. Capona means sparkling waters, and we want you to join us at the sparkling waters this year.
We're going to do a short improvisation in the key of tangos, which is a flamenco form. And actually, it's one of the flamenco forms that Laura and I will be doing. Play a little bit of a Boleres, which is another form that Laura and I will be doing a little bit later.
Capona 2014 is co-sponsored by the Hershey-Harrisburg Convention and Visitors Bureau. And we really thank them for their support for Capona 2014 and their support opening the doors of Harrisburg every day. I'm going to do the first drawing while we're waiting. So if you'll pull out your tickets, we have a little goodie bag. And actually, I'll ask one of our great drummers if you'll pull, I see that keyboard box there. I can't wait to hear that. Okie dokie. So, this first goodie bag, thank you very much, goes to, upside down, 969. 936. 969. 936. And the gentleman there gets the bag. Thank you very much. The whole bag. He gets the whole bag. Wow. Thank you. There's a bunch of good things in there that you might even want to start your lunch with. Okay? The second drawing. Since this man's fingers are so magical, we'll ask him to pull the second one.
Yeah. I got it.
Great. Okay. The next one is 969-934. He does have it. Well, how about that? How about that?
This guy he's in the middle of it all.
Ah, he does have it. One more and we'll continue. And we'll ask this wonderful young lady here if she'll pull the last ticket. In the spirit of thank you ma'am, in the spirit of the Capona Festival, we will have fireworks on August 31st, following our concert called Divas. 4 rhythm and blues divas who emanate from central Pennsylvania and across the world, Grammy nominees and Grammy winners will be singing. And following that concert, there will be fire in the sky with our fireworks over the Susquehanna River. And so in honor of that, we give this poster to 969-937. Now, oh, look at the family, a family affair, family affair. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're right on, buddy. You're there. Everywhere.
We have time for one more.
Excelente.
We have,
Thank you, Language Slam, for this opportunity in the city of Harrisburg and for the amazing Soul to Soul Festival coming up at Capona. It's a very thrilling opportunity for the Harrisburg area and for all the dancers and to inspire everyone to dance and connect. Monday's going to be really exciting because we're going to have a lot of experientials, dance workshops, everyone can join in. It's going to be so much fun, so thank you for this amazing opportunity.
and one more for the folks at home. You've had your lunch. Now this one will be dessert. Okay? So we have some questions. I want to teach a new word. That word is Bantuba. And yes, and that means dancing ground, or dancing space. And before the stage at the River Pavilion will be an area on the ground where if the rhythms move your spirit, you can join the dancing ground. But let's ask these artists, where are you from? How did you become involved in the experience and the absorption of the cults and many cultures that you presented to us today? Will you start, Queen, and then we'll go down the line?
So I'm Lara Brackridge. I'm so happy to be here, and it's just been a blessing to be exposed to all these amazing cultures, and I wish that all people could be enlivened by the dance and the music and the joy and the connection to the earth and the sky and the spirituality and the community that comes with these cultural traditions. So I grew up hearing and being around flamenco with Paco de Nada and Camila Reese in the Harrisburg area. I witnessed them as I was young. But I had a lot more energy, wanted to do more expressive, more explosive dance. So I went into jazz and modern and tap, and then into West African, which is phenomenally powerful and transformational. So I was blessed to study originally with Rafika Muhammad in Harrisburg and Ghazi. And then I traveled to Colorado and studied with teachers from Mali, Jenna Basako, and drummers Abdul Bundia, and a bunch of other teachers out there, and camps here and there. So the African spirit and culture has been such a healing blessing. And then I've come back to the flamenco, amazingly recognizing that some of the drum calls, like ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba, and the drums is kind of like, or in flamenco, it's a little similar the way that you call the rhythm calls in and out of different segments of the dance. So I love that connection and the gypsy spirit of flamenco, where it integrates many cultures. And I've always loved yoga and East Indian chanting and Native American chanting and earth. So I just feel like all the peoples of the planet have a tradition of blessing and giving thanks to the earth and each other and getting connected to our bodies and our voices. And so it's such a blessing to be able to share some of that with you today.
And Confucius says that you can tell the condition of a man's kingdom. You can tell the condition of a man's kingdom by the state in which you find the dance there. So the estate of Harrisburg will be very good this Capona weekend. How did the drummers come to the rhythms, and how did you come to the... And also, would you explain to our audience the concept of breaks, because I think it's such an important thing.
Well, first of all, the African drumming is something that just called my heart. It just called my heart. It was a series of funny coincidences, and I ended up inside of it, and it followed my heart. So I first studied in Baltimore, which is where I was living at the time. I grew up here and then moved to Baltimore, and ended up driving all over the place, all over the East Coast, and ended up flying to Africa a couple times and studying from the traditional masters there. And it's just since I got bit, I've been biting. So it is an art form that is very connected to my spirit and my heart and the earth. And when you learn about a tradition other than your own, I think it really enriches your understanding of yourself and your own culture and where you've come from. So I've ironically gotten to know and understand all about my own roots by understanding somebody else's culture. So it's been a real learning experience. So the concept of breaks, everybody who's ever watched live music knows it's magic, that there's something that those musicians know that the audience doesn't, about when to start and when to stop. Right? So if you look at different cultural art forms, there's always some sort of signal. If you listen to a rock band, you hear the drummer go, "1, 2," you know, like that. And then usually there's some eye contact in a rock band or other band where they figure out where to end, they play something, and then they end. Sometimes the audience doesn't know what's happening because it's their language, it's their musical language. In Western symphonic type setting, there's a guy on a box with a stick, right? He does this, he conducts the orchestra. In drumming, the eye contact is watching the dancer, so they do an auditory signal. There's a signal that everybody agrees on ahead of time, and everybody knows. And that's for the dancer to know, for the other drummers to know. So the concept of break is actually signal, break, things like that. So it is just an agreed upon, what people will call a musical, or a little rhythm pattern that everybody knows that when the person plays it.
So when they go, we all know to change the pattern.
Yeah, part of what's so helpful about that is if we're doing a step like this, you do this and then it goes and then you can go to the other step, which we didn't always do today, but it depends. If it goes on and there's no break, sometimes you just have to change the step anyway, depending on the step.
And you're a journeyman?
I would have to say that the drum called me. I originally started playing the hand drum, the djembe, and then the stick drum called my name, and I decided to listen. So it's been a wonderful journey. I have a wonderful teacher, so I'm very blessed to be part of this.
And share with us that the djembe has such a wonderful history. Will you share with us the history of the
Sure,
djembe?
this is the djembe. These are the low ones that Jamie was talking about playing. The junduns. Yeah, those are called the junduns or junduns. This drum, this particular drum is from Guinea, West Africa. I carried it by hand over on a plane and brought it here. This is the history of this type of drum is, boy, about 3,000 years old. It's a very, very old tradition. And it's a very beautiful tradition. And it was a hub of the community, these types of drums. And, there's many different drums in many different places. But in this community, it really set the tone of what was happening. So these are made of tree, carved out of one single solid tree, and then they put a goat skin on the top, and the rest is up to the drummer.
All of the log and stretch out the skin.
Right.
Now, Governor Miro, M-I-R-O, Governor Miro was the governor of Louisiana in the 1700s. But Louisiana was 11 states and an entire Caribbean ring. Governor Miro understood the power of the drum. And so he outlawed those drums. He didn't outlaw drumming, he just outlawed the instrument. A wooden box was played. Will you talk about your box drum?
Sure. Do you want to continue the story?
Yes, ma'am. You can continue the story.
Okay. So, imagine a building, maybe quarters where people were staying, living, sleeping. And imagine there's no instruments there. But somebody hears this sound, this rhythmic sound, coming out of the amazing rhythms, people shout and dancing. And then the person goes in and there's nothing but a bunch of people and a bunch of crates. A bunch of wooden crates. It's confusing. So then they leave again and then it comes back, right? So this arose out of people's spirits because they could not drum. Okay, this is an example of how you can impress a culture, but you can't impress people's spirits. So it's basically a crate, a box, with a fancy box now, with a hole in the back for the air, so it has a bass sound in it. Somebody got the idea to put a snare sound in it. In this particular one, you can turn it off, take the snare off, and it sounds just like a box. So this box has a low sound that.
Yes, a brilliant escape from repression. You can suppress the people, but what happens is invention comes out of it. Invention comes out of it. So I shared Confucius. I have to share one other, and that is Nietzsche. Nietzsche says, I could not believe in a God who did not dance. God, he's not a God if he doesn't dance. Dance was a spiritual thing that all people in the village came to. And that dance rose out of the rhythms and the music. And I'd like to ask the musicians, what was your cultural journey? And how did you come to the many instruments that you play? Sir?
Well, for years I mostly played keyboard, guitar, and sang, and just kind of wanted to get outside of that box a little bit, get some other flavors going. And it just so happens I was at one of the powwows over on City Island. Very similar to one coming up, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and a lady there named Jan Seiden was a performer. She was also vending flutes by various makers, so she was kind enough to let me try out a lot of the different flutes, which helps because they all have sort of their own voice. And this is the one I ended up getting. This is my first Native American flute. Those of you that see me around town know that I have many more, and of course the crazy triple flute I played at the very beginning is something I got a year after this, so I did not start on that one. This is where it started for me, but it's a very relaxing instrument. The thing that I like about it is it's, on one hand, it's very beginner friendly, so you can learn one simple minor pentatonic mode, and that's very musical, but then you can play around cross-fingering and overblowing and extended technique to sort of get all those chromatic notes in between and really do some...
Give us a little example of that so we know what you're talking about.
All right, so this is a minor pentatonic the way it's generally played. You'll just see I lift one finger at a time, except I keep this one down. So some people might say that minor quality has sort of a plaintive sound to it, whereas let's say a major scale is more of a happier, jubilant thing. So let me play minor and then I'll go major with the cross fingering.
One is sweet and the other has a little bitter to it.
Yeah.
Right? And sir, how did you come to this instrument, which is so old?
I originally came to the guitar via rock music. Then I started studying classical guitar. And after that, I got into flamenco guitar, which is similar to classical guitar in some respects.
And how long have you been playing?
I've been playing for about over 15 years, maybe close to 20.
It's a brilliant richness of culture. We are a rich culture in Harrisburg. Our time is up. I have to leave you with one more quote though, and it's Lightning Hopkins. And Lightning Hopkins says, God approves of us when we work, but he smiles on us when we dance. Thank you all for coming out today. Thank you very much.